Hello, my name is Darkmoon Doll, and on Tuesdays I do the show called Art Talk. Art Talk is a show where I share with you the creations that I make in order to inspire you to, express yourself in a constructive way. A lot of people like to use art as therapy when they have a hard time communicating how they're feeling. So today is going to be part 3 of the tutorial on how to make an art doll that's paper mache and it's repainted. It's like a repainted plastic doll that I repainted first from paper macheing it. Now, if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, please do go back and watch those. And but this is part 3, where it's already paper mache on the front and the back, this plastic doll. And now what I'm going to do for part 3 is paint the front part. So what I like to do is, sometimes I like to just put a base coat on there and let it dry, and put a base coat on the back and let it dry. So I have to figure out what color do I want this doll to be. I'm thinking that I'm going to go for more of a natural color, say like African American, like a brown shade color with this doll. I want to make her a tribal doll. So basically, first thing you're going to need today is some water. I have water in a little canister here. It's just, I recycle all the time. Then I have like this little wood block that I'm going to use for a palette to put my paint onto. And then I have this stick that I'm going to use to apply the paint on. You can use a paintbrush, a bigger paintbrush probably would work faster. I'm not really all about working fast. So when I make a flesh tone, like a brown color, I like to mix red and yellow. That's not red. Yellow and red. And I put some black in there, which I have some black. And I start with that. Now if I need to be a little bit lighter, I just add a little white to it, and that'll make the color lighter. So first what I want to do is pour out my paints onto the wooden thing. I guess you can call it my palette, my wooden palette. You can go fancy and buy a wooden palette from craft stores. They sell them there. I prefer to just use what I have handy, because working with limited funds here. So you see I've got the 3 colors, right? Yeah, yellow, red, and black there. So I just use this brush and mix it up. See that? I'm just mixing it up. Mixing up the color. And when you mix up the color first on a palette, instead of just putting it directly on there without mixing it up, it gives you an idea of what the flesh tone color is going to look like. So let's see how this is coming along. Yeah, I like this color. So see, that's the color that I'm going for, a brown. That color brown, kind of the same skin tone as me. So you can paint the doll however you want. When I apply the paint onto the paper mache doll, I just kind of do like that with it if I'm using a stick. If you're using a paintbrush, it's going to be a different technique. And you just want to apply it onto the body, the front part. See, I like to do it one side at a time. That way you can have ample time for one side to dry effectively. If you don't wait long enough, it's going to get smudged and it's not going to look like you want it to look. So I really enjoy making these repainted dolls, because it gives these dolls another life, It gives them another, they could be abandoned. If you find them in a thrift store, who knows who will buy these dolls, especially if they've been abused and have all kinds of writings on them and scratches and messed up hair and stuff. Some people can't see the beauty that is waiting to be found within these art dolls. And plus, it's really relaxing. It takes you out of your everyday 9-to-5 existence if you're working a full-time job outside the home. This is an activity that anybody can do, because it's so it's so relaxing. The only thing is not too many people do this because they just don't think about doing things like this. When they get off from work, they're just tired. So anyway, see how it's coming along so far? Pretty good. And like I said before, you could paint the doll without putting paper mache on it first. But I suggest to use paper mache on the doll so that the paint, all that time and effort you spend on painting the doll, and just for it to peel off, it's just sad. That happened to me before with some dolls that I repainted when I first started repainting dolls. Is the paint, I spent all this time doing an elaborate design on it, and then the next day I come back to it, I just let it dry, and the paint was chipping off. So it helps to have that reinforcement with the paper mache. So it's coming along really well. I'm doing the face right now. So yeah, you don't really need a lot of fancy tools and supplies to do these art dolls. A lot of it's like stuff found around the house. The main expense, if you can't get a doll for free, for somebody just donating one to you, thrift stores are really cheap for plastic dolls. There's tons of them. And you're doing your part of recycling. When you recycle these dolls, you give them new life, and there's not much of a chance of them ending up in a, landfill. And that would be really horrible, because obviously plastic dolls, this kind of plastic, is not recyclable as far as taking it to your recycling center. They're not gonna recycle your doll for you, I don't think. If you know of a place, let me know. That I don't think that's available. So it's looking good so far. So I'm not going to continue on with showing you this, because you get the idea. What I'm going to do is paint all of this side and then paint the back of it same color. And then what I'm going to do next for part 4 is show you how to put the tribal designs onto the doll. So yeah, stay tuned for part 4 next week. I'll try to do that on next week. And see if I can get outside too, because it's just noisy outside. I can't do it out. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you have any questions about today's show or about how to make art dolls, leave it in the comment section below, and I can answer the questions on an upcoming video. Thank you everybody for subscribing, thank you for liking, and thank you for sharing these videos with your friends and family, because I think that people should take the time out and do something fun and creative, instead of just being in this serious businessman, businesswoman, whatever you want to call it, mode. Take some time out, get out in Mother Earth, and explore your imagination. Everybody has one. Alrighty guys, I'll see you soon. Peace.